Karley here to take you through a vinyasa flow class. We're going to do some core work, we're going to do some standing sequences and some balancing poses, and then we'll finish off with a short meditation at the end of our class today. So if you'd like to find your mat, if you have any blocks or props with you, that would be great to have near the top of your mat as well. And we'll get started. So coming up to the top of our mat, we're going to start standing. So we're actually going to start with our feet about shoulder distance apart, just underneath our shoulders and our hips. And we're just going to bring our arms down by our sides, reaching our fingertips down towards the ground so our shoulders are away from our ears. Our neck feels long. Feel like the crown of your head is being drawn up to the ceiling. Rooting the feet into the ground, maybe closing our eyes, just starting with 3 breaths here. Deep breath in and out. And deep breath in and out. And one more deep breath in and out. And then on our next inhale, we'll just walk our feet all the way to touch and bring our arms all the way up, reaching up high into the sky, clasping at the top and leaning over to the left. Taking a little stretch, getting a little stretch into that side body, maybe taking it over to the right, getting a stretch in that side, taking a breath here, coming back to center, lifting and lengthening, maybe taking the gaze up for a bit of a back bend, coming back to center and bringing our hands back down to center as well. Let's inhale, lift our arms, come all the way up to the ceiling, and as we exhale, we'll fly forward for our toes into our forward fold. Inhale up into a flat back. Exhale, forward fold all the way back down. Inhale, arms come all the way up, slow and control, coming all the way back up to stand, keeping the arms up into the sky here as we sit down and back into our heels and into our glutes for our chair pose. Making sure we're reaching our arms all the way up high into the sky, sinking down into the glutes, feeling like all of the weight is out of the toes and out of the balls of the feet. Feel like you could peel those toes up and off of the ground. Take a breath here, maybe reach up for a moment, exhale down a little lower. Breathe it in, breathe it out. Trying to get those arms up and chest up, keeping those biceps as close to our ears as we can. Take another breath in, inhale, exhale a little deeper. Good, one more time, inhale up just a tad and exhale a little lower. From here, let's fly forward for our toes once again. Inhale up to a flat back. Exhale, forward fold all the way back down. Let's take our hands and connect them down onto the mat in front of us, taking our right foot and stepping it back, and then our left foot and stepping it back into our high plank. Just for a breath here, holding, everything is stacked up nice and neat, nice flat backs and strong cores. Let's drop down onto our knees and untuck our toes. Drop the hips down and start to bend the elbows down nice and slow and controlled. Walking our hands out in front here onto the elbows. We're going to start to lift up at the chest, shining the collarbones forward, feeling a sort of tightening sensation in the low back. Take a breath here and lower all the way back down, slow and controlled. Let's walk our hands back behind us. Take a moment. See if we can maybe start to float the chest up. Once again, shining those collarbones forward. See if you can float the arms up into the air. Take a breath here. Maybe we float the feet up into the air. Good. Breathe it in, breathe it out. Maybe we stay, maybe this is good. Or maybe we see if we can bend those knees and grab a hold of the feet. Lifting up a little bit higher. Rolling the shoulders down and back. Good. Staying here. Shin bones are going towards the back of the mat. Slow and controlled. Float everything back out and all the way back down. Let's walk our hands as close to our ribcage as we can. Keeping our feet as they are, so the tops of the feet are pushing onto the ground. We're going to push up into our cobra or up dog pose. Staying here for just a breath. We'll take the big toes to touch behind us, finding our child's pose next, so spreading our knees out wide as we sit all the way back onto our heels, connecting the forehead down onto the mat, walking the hands out in front, just staying here for 2 to 3 breaths. Deep breath in and a deep breath out. And deep breath in and deep breath out. On your next inhale, let's push ourselves back up into our tabletop pose, so just onto all fours, okay? We're gonna stack everything up nice and neat, so let's make sure those fingertips are out nice and wide. Our shoulders are over top of our elbows, and our elbows are over top of our wrists. Our hips are right over top of those knees. And our ankles are coming straight out from behind those knees, so they're not split out to the side or too close in together. We'll start with a few cat and cows, so take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, tuck the tail, begin to round the back, take the gaze towards the two toes, rooting the hands into the ground. Inhale back into your cow pose, dropping the chest, squeezing the shoulder blades back behind you, taking the gaze up and the tail up, shine the collarbones forward, let the neck feel long, shoulders are away from the ears. Exhale back to your cat. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. And we'll do one more of each. Exhale, cat. Round that back, tuck that tail. Inhale, cow, last time. And bring it back to a nice neutral spine. Good, let's take the left hand and just walk it underneath the eye line in that center position. We're gonna take the right hand, we're gonna pick it all the way up, stacking the wrist on top of the shoulder just for a moment before we thread through and underneath. Coming down onto the right shoulder and the right side of the face, staying here, or maybe we take a bind. So maybe take that left hand into the air, the back of the hand comes onto the back, maybe seeing if you can walk those fingertips to the inside of the right thigh. Staying here for a breath, trying to melt down into this pose, relax into the pose. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Taking that left hand and planting it back down onto the mat, pushing back up into our tabletop pose, stacking everything up nice and neat once again. Move the right hand to the middle spot underneath the eye line. Pick the left hand all the way up this time. Reach right through the fingertips to the ceiling, thread through and underneath. Melting down into the pose on this side. Maybe you stay or maybe you take a bind with the back of the right hand coming onto the back, melting into this pose. Take a few deep breaths in and out. Good, relax. Take the right hand and plant it back down to push ourselves all the way back up into our tabletop pose. Fingertips are wide. From here, let's go over some modifications and variations of what your flow might look like today. So right now I've got everything stacked up nice and neat. Let's walk our hands out in front. So now our shoulders are behind our wrists. We're not stacked up anymore. We're gonna shift forward, dropping our hips down into a modified plank, right? So we're not dropping all the way down and arching our backs. We're just coming to a nice strong core, a nice strong neutral spine position. It's as if we were in our high plank. All we've done is drop the knees down. Take those elbow creases and spin them so they face towards the front of the room. Squeeze the elbows so tight to the body they brush against the side as far as you lower all the way down onto the mat. Walk the hands as close to the ribcage as you can, pushing ourselves all the way up into our cobra up dog. Staying here for a breath. This time we'll tuck our toes, lift our hips, and find our down dog. Opening up into those armpits, pedaling out the feet, working out the kinks. Taking a few breaths here, maybe shaking our head yes and no, maybe swiveling our heels from one corner of the mat to the other, just taking a moment to be comfortable and upside down. Good. On our next inhale, let's shift forward into our high plank, right? So now we're in our high plank position. It's your choice to drop down onto the knees and untuck the toes into the modified plank, or you can stay in your high plank and shift forward high onto the tippy toes so the shoulders come over top of the fingertips. Still squeezing those elbows in nice and tight, maybe down to a hover and hold, or maybe down to the ground. From here, we push up into our cobra up dog, tuck the toes, lift the hips, find your down dog. So you've got variations. You can go all the way to the ground. You can do a hover and hold. You can drop the knees down, or you can skip the whole thing and just hang out in our down dog. Let's try one more. Inhale, shift forward, high plank. Maybe drop the knees, or maybe exhale, shift forward, high to the tippy toes. Inhale it down. Exhale, cobra up dog. And find your down dog. Beautiful. Pedal out those feet one more time. Work out the kinks. Open up into the armpits. Let's drop those knees back down onto the mat, spreading the knees out wide, finding our child's pose once again. Walk those hands out in front. Connect the forehead down. 3 big breaths. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. In and out. And one more time in and out. Now before we get into our standing series, let's get some core work in. So we can just walk our hands back, and we're just going to swing our legs out in front of us and come down onto our backs onto the mat. all the way down, laying down, finding a comfortable position, making sure we've got space around us. Let's start here with just a few glute bridges. So let's walk those feet in nice and close. Our knees are bent, our feet are planted, walking the heels as close to the bum cheeks as we can. Reaching our arms down by our sides. We're going to see if maybe our fingertips can come towards our heels. If they're long enough to come towards our ankles, that's great too. Let's inhale, root the hands and the feet down into the mat as we lift our hips up high into the sky. Squeezing the bum cheeks together. Try not to scrunch the chin down into the chest, so keep that gaze up towards the sky. Root the feet down, really drive those hips up as high as you can. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Staying here for just a few breaths. Let's tuck the tail, round the back, and slow and controlled begin to lower all the way back down. Good. Inhale all the way up. Take a breath. And lower back down. One more time. Inhale it up. And exhale it down. Good. Let's hug our knees into our chest and just begin to rock side to side. Massage out that low back. Coming back to center and into stillness for our revolved abdomen pose. We're going to take our arms, we're going to cactus them out to the sides in that sort of goal post position. We're going to lift our ankles up so they come straight out from our knees. And we're going to line those knees over top of our hips. Okay, so everything is stacked up nice and neat. Glue those ankles together, glue those knees together, take a breath in. We're going to drop the knees over to the right hand side, slow and controlled, coming to a hover and holds. As we exhale all the way back up to center, using just your core, inhale over to the left hand side, hover, hold. Take a breath here. Come all the way back up. This is very slow and controlled. Take your time and follow your breath, coming back and forth from the right back to center and over to the left. And we'll do one more on each side, continuing to follow your breath, taking our time. Good. Holding for a moment, coming all the way back up. We've got one last side to do here on the left. Coming over, hover, hold, and come all the way back up. Good. Now without dropping those feet down, let's straighten those legs up high into the sky and flex those feet. And just stay here for a moment. Maybe point the toes and then flex them again, and point them and flex them, roll the ankles, whatever feels good for you in this position. And come back to stillness. Let's flex those feet. Take the right leg and see if we can just drop it down to a hover and holds. Good. Breathe it in, breathe it out. Bring that all the way back up. See if you can take the left leg down, hover, holds. Breathe it in, breathe it out. Come all the way back up. This time the right leg's going to come down, but only halfway. It's going to stay there for just a breath. Good. Let's see if we can take the left leg down, only halfway. Starting to get a little shaky, that's okay. Drop the right leg down to a hover and hold. Take a breath. Left leg down, hover, hold. Breathe it in, breathe it out. Right leg comes back up halfway. Left leg comes up halfway. Right leg to the top and left leg to the top. Excellent work. Take a deep breath in and side out. And we have to repeat on the other side. So we'll take the left leg down halfway. Take a breath. And the right leg down. Take a breath. Left leg down, hover, hold. You got this. Keep breathing. Right leg down, hover, hold. Good. Left leg up halfway. And the right leg up halfway. Left leg to the top. And right leg to the top. Deep breath in. And side out. Let's hug those knees into the chest once again. Give a little rock side to side. Massage that low back. Give those abs a little break. Excellent work. Coming back to center and into stillness. Tee the arms back out to the side. Straighten the legs all the way back up high into the sky and flex those feet. Gluing the ankles together and the knees together. This time, let's drop both feet down together at the same time, halfway. Breathe it in, breathe it out. Take your time. Now you can stay here, or if you want to challenge, you can slowly come down. Hover and hold. Breathe it in, breathe it out. Get a little shaky. Feel those abs fire up. Come back up halfway. Good. All the way to the top. Everyone comes to the top and hug those knees into the chest. Rock out side to side. Good. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Starting to warm things up. Coming back to stillness. Let's take our hands onto our hamstrings, onto the back of our legs. Peel the upper back off the mat, bring the nose and the knees as close in to touch as we can, and just start to rock forward and back, giving a little bit of momentum each time, coming up to the sit bones, where we're not going to touch those feet down, we're going to keep them floating into the air, we're going to stay here, or however you need it to get here. So maybe we stay and hang out, or maybe we see if we can peel those hands up and off. Maybe we keep our feet and legs as they are, maybe we see if we can straighten them out for a challenge. Everyone's going to slow and control, see if we can lower down into our low boat. Breathe it in, breathe it out. Come all the way back up, high boat. Take a breath. Slowly lower down, low boat. Relax the neck, relax the head. Come all the way back up, high boat. Let's do one more. Lower down, low boat. And high boat. Good, hands come back down. Feet come out in front of us. Let's sit up nice and tall here. We're going to take the fleshy part of our bum cheeks and just peel them out to the side. We're going to sit up tall. We're going to take a deep breath in as our arms come all the way up. And as we exhale, we're going to fly forward for those toes. But we're going to try our best not to round out our back. So feel like the chest is being pulled forward and the belly's coming down towards the thighs. If this is as far as you go, this is as far as you go, and that's okay. Take a deep breath in and exhale a little further. Good. One more deep breath in. And exhale a little further. Okay, let's come all the way back up. And we're going to take our right foot and bring it in here and take our left foot out to the side. Sit up nice and tall. Reach for those left toes and the right arm's going to come all the way up, stacking up on top, reaching right through the fingertips out to the side. Maybe we take our gaze up towards the ceiling if that's comfortable. From here, we'll come all the way back up, seeing if we can bring this left foot with us, somewhere in front, or maybe on top, sitting tall. We'll hinge ourselves forward at the front, getting a little stretch into that left butt cheek. Staying here for a breath. And from here, we'll walk ourselves all the way back up. Our right foot's going to come out to the side, and our left foot's going to tuck in this time. Reaching for our right toes, left arm comes all the way up. Stack it up, take the gaze up. Breathe it in, breathe it out. Come all the way back up. Right foot comes with us, somewhere in front, or maybe on top. Sit tall, hinge forward at the hips. Take a breath here. When you're ready, let's walk ourselves all the way back up. Both legs can come out in front once again. Give them a little shake out. Do whatever you need to do. We'll take one more deep breath in. So let's flex those feet. We're going to fly forward for the toes once again. So another deep breath in. Arms come all the way up and exhale, flying forward as we can. Try not to round out those backs. Keep the shoulders away from the ears and the neck feels long. Okay, walk it all the way back up. Cross your legs in a comfortable position just so we can push ourselves back up into that tabletop pose, or however you need to get there. Stacking everything up nice and neat once again. Shoulders, elbows, elbows, wrists, knees, hips. Take a peek. Let's tuck both toes under. Hover the knees into the air. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Lift the hips high into the sky. Find your down dog. Maybe you need it to widen or shorten your stance. Open up into those armpits. Relax into the chest. Take a deep breath in. And a sigh out. Bring the big toes to touch behind you if they're not already. Let's take our right foot and pick it up high into the sky. Stay here for a breath. We're going to bend our knee and stack our hips up on top of each other, still driving that left heel down towards the mat. Notice if your shoulders start to open up. Square those off and drop back into those armpits. Straighten the right leg out. Square your hips off. Shift forward, tuck the knee into the chest to create space. And step through and in between your hands into a low lunge. Everything is stacked up nice and neat. We're propped onto those back toes, but we're going to take those back toes and we're actually going to spin them out towards the side of our mat so our heel can come down flat onto the ground. We're going to windmill our arms all the way up and find our warrior two pose. Bending into this front knee, lining over the ankle. Hips, shoulders square with the side of the mat, but our arms are still up with our shoulders away from our ears and our gaze stays over top of our front fingertips. Deep breath in and out. This time we're going to inhale, straighten the front leg and reach all the way up, and exhale, lower back down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. One more time, inhale, lift up, and exhale, lower down. Good. Straighten the front leg out, straighten it up. reach towards the front. And we're going to hinge into our triangle pose. So maybe you have a block just underneath that hand. Your left hand comes all the way up, stacking the wrist on the shoulder. Your hand can also come down onto the ground or near your shin. Whatever's going to help with you. Just making sure everything is stacked on top of each other. Your shoulders are stacked on top of each other. Maybe your gaze goes up to the ceiling. Front leg straight, back leg straight. Just a micro bend in each knee. Let's bend into that front knee and have the right elbow come down onto it, reaching the left hand towards the front of the room into our side angle pose. Take a breath here. When you're ready, using your core, slow and controlled, come up into your warrior two and into a reversed warrior two. The left hand comes down the back of the leg, the right hand reaches towards the back of the room. Take a breath. Come back into your warrior two, straighten the front leg, reach forward, hinge into your triangle. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Bending into the front knee, elbow comes down, reach the left arm forward. Try not to dump all the weight to this knee, so let it hover in the air if it needs to. Come all the way back up, use your core, and reverse. Take a breath. We've got one more. Come all the way back up. Straighten the leg, reach forward, find your triangle, stack it up. Breathe it in, breathe it out. Use your core, bend into the knee, elbow comes down, reach the left arm towards the front of the room. Pop it up, use your core, warrior two, and reverse. Breathe it in, breathe it out. Come all the way back up. Let's cartwheel our hands down to either side of our foot. Watch out for your block. Maybe we stay, maybe we go right to our down dog, or maybe we take a flow. Stepping the right foot back, maybe dropping the knees, maybe shifting forward, lower down. Push up, cobra up dog. Tuck the toes of the hips, down dog. Pedal the feet, work out the kinks. Now we're going to repeat on the other side and we're going to add on. So bring those big toes to touch once again. Inhale, left leg goes up. Exhale, bend the knees, stack the hips. Drive the right heel down, square the shoulders off. Stay here for a breath. Straighten the left leg back out, square the hips, shift forward, tuck knee to chest, create space. Step through and in between. Stay for a breath in your low lunge. Back toes spin out as the heel drops down. Windmill up, warrior two. Check in, stack everything up. Square the hips and shoulders. Relax the shoulders from the ears. Gaze over the top of the front fingertips. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Two more. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Good. This time, straighten the front leg. Reach forward and find your triangle. Stack the wrist. Take the gaze up. Take a breath. Good. Come all the way back up. Bend into the knee. Elbow comes down. Reach the right arm forward. Side angle. Take a breath. Pop it up. Warrior two. Into reverse. Good. You know what's next. We come back to warrior two to straighten the leg and find our triangle. Reaching forward, hinging at the hips. Take a breath. Next up, side angle. Bend to the knee. Left elbow down, right arm reaches forward. Breathe it in, breathe it out. Pop it up, warrior two, and reverse. We've got one more. Come all the way back up. Straighten the leg, reach forward, triangle. Last time, bend to the knee, side angle, reach the right fingertips forward. Good. Pop it up and reverse. Beautiful. Cartwheel the arms all the way down. Back to the low lunge, spin to the back toes. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Instead, we're going to add on, so that's exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to take the back foot and we're going to step it in halfway. Both of our knees are going to be straight, just that micro bend, both feet face forward. Now you can use a block underneath your hands in front of you so you can keep that nice flat back position rather than rounding out. You want the belly to come down, but you want to keep that chest feeling like it's pulling forward to avoid this rounding of the low spine. Staying here for a breath. Maybe we stay as is, or maybe we see if we can take our hands onto our back and coming into a shoulder stretch, lifting all the way up here. back onto the back toes. Let's drop that back knee and untuck the back toes. Peel the chest all the way up and sink into the right hip. Reach the arms up high to the sky, right through the fingertips. Take a breath here, relax the shoulders away from the ears. Let's cactus our arms out to the side. If you like, you can stay, or maybe take a small back bend. Breathe it in and breathe it out. Reach all the way back up. Hands come down to either side of the foot. Tuck the back toes. Lift the back knee. Take this back foot, step it all the way into the top of the mat as we sink down and scoop up into our chair pose where we started. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Reach up and exhale to lower. Hands to the center. Fly for those toes. Inhale up, flat back. Exhale, root the hands down. Step the left foot back and then the right foot back. Take your flow as you like to with your own breath and at your own pace. Modify it as you would like to be. Good. Bring the big toes to touch. Big toes to touch. Open up into those armpits. We're going to take that right foot up high into the sky just for a moment to create space and step forward and in between the hands. Taking the back foot, getting ready for our pyramid pose. So taking that back foot, stepping it in. So both feet face forward and both feet are planted down flat. Slight micro bend into those knees. Maybe we use that block. So if you've got that rounding out happening, use that block to help you get a nice long neutral spine. The belly can come down, but that chest still feels like it's pulling forward. Take a breath here. Maybe you stay, or maybe you try for that shoulder stretch. Taking the hands and clasping them onto the back and lifting all the way up. Take a breath in and a breath out. Hands come back down onto the mat. Down to either side, stepping back onto those back toes just for a breath, moving your block out of the way. Let's drop that back knee and untuck the back toes. Peel the chest all the way up and off. Good. Breathe it in, breathe it out. Relax the shoulders to the ears. Maybe you stay, or maybe you try for that back bend. Cactus arms, feel like you're lifting and lengthening, tucking the tail, and take a small back bend, maybe taking that gaze up if it feels good. Breathe it in and out. Reach all the way back up. Hands come down to either side of the foot. Tuck the back toes. Lift the back knee, getting ready to step up into our chair pose. Stepping forward, sinking down and scooping all the way up. Good. Sink into those heels, all the way into the heels. Inhale, lift up, exhale, lower down. One more time, let's reach and a little lower. Good. Lift up the chest, hands to heart center, getting ready to fly forward for our toes. Exhale, fly forward. Inhale up, flat back. Exhale, let's root the hands down. Walk, step, hop back into your plank. Shift forward and take your flow at your own pace with your own breath and finding our down dog. Good. Breathe it in, breathe it out. Let's find our child's pose. Just to take a little breather here, connecting the butt cheeks down onto the heels, connecting the forehead onto the mat, walking the hands out in front. 5 deep breaths in. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. 3 more breaths. Inhale and exhale. Good. Deep breath in and out. On our next inhale, pushing ourselves up into our tabletop pose. Stacking everything up nice and neat once again. Let's tuck those toes under and hover the knees into the air. Lift the hips high into the sky. Find that down dog. Walk the feet out. Open up into the armpits. Take a breath. Bring the big toes to touch. Look between the hands and either walk, step, or hop up to the top of the mat. Inhale up, flat back. Exhale, forward fold down. Inhale all the way to stand. All the way up. Exhale down to heart center. A couple standing poses, some balancing poses to finish us off today before we come back down onto our mats. So we're going to take our right heel and we're just going to kickstand it up here. Maybe we stay as is. Maybe we see if we can bring that foot up to the inside of the calf. Maybe we stay, or we see if we can bring it all the way up. So either above or below that knee joint, just not right on it, okay? Hands to heart center. If you have your breath in balance, grow your tree all the way up. Reach to the sky. Relax the shoulders away from ears. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. It's okay to wobble. It's okay to fall over. Come back into it when you can. Maybe you stay, or maybe we add our eagle arms in. So maybe we take this right arm and loop it underneath the left. Right loops underneath the left. Maybe the backs of the hands come to touch, or maybe you see if you can keep going a little further. And then we're going to take those elbows, we're going to drive them all the way up to our eye line. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Good. Release the arms all the way back up, growing the tree. Hands come back down to heart center. From here you can stay and hang out, or you can see if you can transition into your warrior 3 pose. So without touching this right foot down, we're gonna see if we can kick it back behind us as we start to hinge ourselves forward, teeter-totter forward, trying to line the skull and the heel up with each other, so a nice flat line. Flexing that back foot, standing on this bottom leg as strong and as balanced as we can. Finding our breath. Maybe we have blocks in front of us for balance. Out to the side, you can use a wall, whatever you need to do to keep your balance in this pose. 2 more breaths. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. We've got this. Breathe it in. And exhale it out. Now see if you can go back into that tree pose. Can you find your tree pose variation without stepping that foot back down? Inhale, grow your tree up. Find your balance. It's okay to be slower. It's okay to be faster. Wherever you need to be, relax the shoulders from the ears. Reach right through the fingertips. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Good. Hands come down to heart center. Step the right foot down and pedal those feet out. Take a breath. Let's do 1 sun salutation in between before switching sides. Inhale, arms come all the way up. Exhale, fly forward for the toes. Inhale, up, flat back. Exhale, root the hands down. Walk, step, hop back into your plank. Take your flow as you'd like to. Find your breath. And back into our down dog. Meeting in down dog, big toes to touch. I want you to look between the hands, walk, step, or hop up to the top. Inhale, up, flat back. Exhale, down, forward fold. Inhale, stand, arms come up. Exhale, heart center. Preparing for tree on the other side. So we'll kickstand that left heel up. Maybe we stay. Maybe it comes to the calf, or maybe it comes all the way up. Totally up to you. Hands at heart center to start. Find your breath in balance. Grow your tree. Relax your shoulders. Good. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Left arm loops underneath. Coming all the way around. Left arm loops. Maybe the backs of the hands, maybe the palms. And then drive those elbows up to the eye line. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Take a breath here. Slowly, when you're ready, unravel those arms all the way back up. Down to heart center. Maybe you stay and hang. Maybe you find your warrior 3. Kicking it back, taking your time, teeter-totter forward. Good. Find your balance. Use your props. Use your walls. Move your arms, whatever you need to do. It's okay to be wobbly. It's okay to fall out of it and come back into it. Breathe it in. 2 more breaths. Inhale and exhale. 1 more deep breath in and out. Slow and controlled. See if we can find that tree once again. Slowly teeter-totter all the way forward. Maybe finding some sort of variation and growing it up. Good. Relax the shoulders. Excellent work. Hands come down to heart center. Step that foot down. Paddle out the feet. Work out the kinks. Let's do a sun sal. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, fly forward for the toes. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, root the hands, walk, step, or hop back into your plank and take your flow as you would like to. Excellent work. Good. Back up into our down dog. Pedal out those feet. Let's find our child's pose once again, coming all the way down onto our mat. Connect the forehead down. Take a breath here. And from here, we're just going to push ourselves back up into our tabletop pose just for a moment. Tuck the toes, lift the knees, come all the way back up. Bring the big toes to touch. Find your down dog here for a moment. Let's lift the right foot up high into the sky. And shift forward, finding our pigeon pose. We're going to drop our knee down next to the right heel of the hand and see if we can swing those toes out towards the left heel of the hand. We're going to untuck those back toes and shimmy that back knee back. And maybe we stay here in our pigeon. Maybe this is enough. Maybe we come down onto our elbows or down onto a block in front of us. We're going to stay here for 5 big breaths. So a deep breath in and out. One more breath in and out. If you'd like to stay longer in this pose, you may, and then switch to the other side. If you'd like to stay with me, we'll plant our hands and lift our chest. Tuck the back toes and lift the back knee up, back into your down dog. Shake that leg out, wiggle it out, whatever you need to do that feels good for you. Bringing those big toes to touch once again. This time the left leg goes up high into the sky. Shifting forward, dropping that knee and swinging those toes out to the side, coming back down, finding your pigeon variation on the other side for your 5 breaths, whatever that looks like for you. Deep breath in and deep breath out. 4 more. Good, and this time we'll plant the hands and lift the chest. We'll roll over onto that butt cheek and swing our legs out in front, coming back down onto our mats. We're going to finish by hugging those knees into the chest and rocking side to side. And then maybe just straightening our legs down onto the mat, reaching our arms down by our sides. We'll take one deep breath in and reach our arms actually up and over our head, extending out. And then exhale them back down to our sides. Close your eyes. Begin to let everything melt down into the mats. Let your feet flop to the sides. Begin to deepen your inhales and exhales. And you're welcome to stay here for as long as you need to. Finishing our practice in this final. You're welcome to stay here as long as you need, finishing our practice in this final Shavasana pose.
But sister, you know I'm so weary. And you know, sister, my heart's been broken. Sometimes my mind is too strong to carry on. Too strong to carry on. When I am alone, when I've thrown off the weight of this crazy stone, when I've lost all care for the things I own, that's when I miss you, that's when I miss you, that's when I miss you, you who are my home. You who are my home. And here is what I know now, here is what I know now, goes like this. In your love, my salvation lies 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 in your love, in your love, in your love. Well, I had a dream. I stood beneath an orange sky. Yes, I had a dream. I stood beneath an orange sky. With my brother and my sister standing by. With my brother and my sister standing by. With my brother and my sister